All right, let's get some New York stories now. In a minute, I'm going to test the panel's knowledge for Albany and all the corruption there in a little quiz. But first, some more problems here from Mayor Bill de Blasio. Black leaders getting more than a little tense with the mayor. You probably saw the Times today story saying that black ministers, justice reform advocates, civil rights activists, they want to do more about issues like affordable housing and criminal justice. It's especially troublesome for this particular mayor because African Americans are his most loyal constituency. So if he loses them, it is a big loss. Take a look at this poll number. African Americans, they're still giving de Blasio good marks, about 68%. That is down, but nonetheless a strong approval rating. The number for whites is half that, Hispanics in the middle. Dominic, I saw Charlie Rangel, Hakeem Jeffries, some clergy saying, I hear the talk, where's the action? They feel that he's backed off of stop and frisk, broken windows, that he said a lot, but once he got the reaction from the NYPD, he kind of gave ground. Does he have a problem here, the mayor?
Yes, and then it's my point of view that he's probably a one-term mayor. I mean, it's as simple as that. But I will tell you this much. I had a conversation with a top Democrat the other day, and he agreed. In his words, just to assess it in interest of time, he said de Blasio's awful. But then he flipped it on me and he said, but you got to have somebody to beat him. Who's going to beat him?
Well, before we get to who beats him and who doesn't, or if he's a one or two-term mayor, he seems to be in an almost impossible situation.
He is.
Where he tried to calm the waters after obviously what we saw in Staten Island, and then also to a degree with what happened with the Kai Gurley in Brooklyn. But on the same end, he saw the pushback from the cops, and then you saw the tragedy with Leanne Ramos, what happened with them. And then he had to again be New York's top cop as the mayor, and he can't serve two communities simultaneously without always seeing, like, you know, whichever way the wind blows, he's going to be their best friend.
Richard, there's no other way to say this. It's amateur hour at City Hall. It's the bottom line. I say this having covered mayors for 30 years. And so he is in an unfair situation because he tried to deliver for his constituents. But the problem is when he put Sharpton at the table, it was such an immediate impact going the other way, he had to bend over backwards to please the police community. And so he's bending from community to police. And it's just not working.
You know, poll numbers, Jeannie, I mean, you know better than anybody at the table how these things work. He's still polling well, but he's so reliant, it seems, on the African-American constituency right now, and perversely, to the guy sitting by his side when he put him at the same table, at the same level as the commissioner, Reverend Al Sharpton flips on you, he could have some troubles, right?
No, absolutely. And I have to say, he is in a tough situation, but it is a situation of his making.
Well,
he
wasn't on that sidewalk in Staten Island. He wasn't on that stairwell in Brooklyn.
Well, no, but he was the person who decided in order to win the election, he was going to go for, after this constituency, and he went after it, and he made promises, and at the time, many of us said, you cannot govern the city and deliver on those promises. It's going to be impossible because the minute crime turns on you, you're going to have to go the other way.
Okay,
and that's precisely
to be fair,
what
Andrew,
happened.
Into his term right now, the crime numbers are still down.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Overall, they're still down. Shootings are up.
This is where Jeannie says,
7%
just wait
down.
until this summer when the crime numbers go up and the shooting numbers go up.
Overall, historically, Jeannie, the numbers
shootings are
low.
up 20%.
Historically,
people
low.
dying from shootings are up 20%. You're talking about all crimes.
You want to do a comparative to
How
where the
else
city
would you
was
look
in
at
70s, 80s?
How else would you look at crime numbers? Of course you compare them. And they are down overall 7%. I'll give you that. But that includes petty crimes. When you look at murders, when you look at shootings, sorry, Andrew, I will stop. They are up.
Let's not
way
make
up.
it sound like we've got, we're back into the old Wild West here of the South Bronx. I mean, that's not the city today.
No, and I don't think most people feel like that is the city today, and we'll see if that changes in the coming months. Look, a lot of the people who were profiled in that Times piece were people who supported other candidates in the primary process. That was part of the story. So there are divided loyalties. There are always going to be divided loyalties, especially in a Democratic city with a Democratic mayor. I think there's something here. There's certainly an area for concern for the de Blasio administration. But, again, he's had, to my mind, an outsized amount of criticism in terms of style from day one.
And on the style standpoint, I think he's brought a lot of it on himself.
He may
Here
well
on the
have.
substance side, I think he's getting a little bit of a tough ride, and I've been a critic too, but I think it's starting to go a little over the top. All right, now, if you think there's two common themes we've seen this year, one is obviously that tension between some communities of color in the police and corruption in Albany. So let's get to that, draining the swamp of Albany. All right, let's do a little something different here and quiz the panel about that corruption. And Andrew, first question comes to you.
All of the above.
Yes. Which politician was charged by the feds here and later acquitted on 8 corruption counts, including wire fraud? Was it your favorite best friend, long-lost cousin Pedro Espada, Joseph Bruno, or Nelson Castro?
Well, Pedro Espada's still in prison. I check that every day just to make sure.
He's not gonna get
Nelson
you.
Castro cooperated. I'm going with B. Joe Bruno.
Well played, well played. And again here, one of a majority leader, in fact, Senate majority leader at the time here, so just think this is not a new topic. Which politician was indicted along with his son in December 2010 for embezzling funds from Soundview? That's a healthcare nonprofit. And no, we're not talking about Dean Skelos. That was modern time here. Is it Carl Kruger, again Andrew's buddy Pedro Espada, or Malcolm Smith?
Easy, Pedro Espada.
Look at you. You guys are good. And what was he? Was he said the hurricane?
Technically, it's Hurricane Espada.
Hurricane.
Oh,
Espada.
okay.
Remember when he threw the money, make it rain?
Okay.
I can't make it up. All right, Jeannie, to you. This Brooklyn Democrat arrested in 2013 for embezzlement and lying to the feds. Is it Eric Stevenson, Vito Lopez, or John Sampson? Look how many names are going through here.
God, I'm going to say Vito Lopez, but I don't know.
C. C.
Oh, I don't like that sound. Who just played that sound?
It is.
Oh.
Dominic, you're good. You know
By the way,
anywhere.
John Sampson doesn't like that sound either.
No. You don't like a whole lot of sounds. All right, Andrew, again
Yes.
to you.
Yes.
This was a one-time Democratic leader. He was charged in 2013 with attempting to bribe his way into the nomination for the mayor of New York City. Now, can I just say, of all the idiot scams, this was the most harebrained one I've heard yet. Vito Lopez, Malcolm Smith, or Carl Kruger?
Here's why this was such a harebrained scheme, because he was trying to bribe his way to the Republican nomination for mayor of New York City. Oh, Malcolm Smith.
And Dominic, it doesn't look too good for Malcolm.
Well, it does not look good at all. He's waiting to be. I mean, I know it's not a laughing matter because he's going to prison, and Malcolm is not too big to begin with. Good luck, Senator.
I asked for that one. I did ask for that one. I'm sorry. Moving on quickly. The Queens Democrat pleaded guilty to federal fraud charges related to theft of travel reimbursement funds and connected to his personal use of campaign funds. Oh, we could have a long list on this one. We'll just start with 3. Is it William Scarborough, Nelson Castro, or the
Easy.
aforementioned Mr. Sampson?
A.
Tom.
I told you they're all
Are
crooks.
you going to answer my next one?
No, this is for you, Gina Zeta. Are you
no,
ready?
I don't want it.
Come on. Western New York Democrat. He resigned his seat last year, January of 14, after a half a dozen female staff members claimed that he had made inappropriate comments and sexual overtures. Is it Carl Kruger? Is it, how do I say it, Dennis Gabrizak, or Tim Kennedy?
Gee, I don't want to answer because I really don't know anybody making it up in this port. I mean, who is it, Andrew?
Wait. Well, we know it's not Kruger because he's from Brooklyn.
I
I'm
mean-
going to say Gabrizak just because I
I've never
don't
heard
know.
of him.
I don't know.
I think it's B.
Oh,
There
thanks,
you go. I
guys.
can't say his name, but I remembered how much of a skeeve he was. Can I just tell you, though, when you go through all those names, and there's more that we could have done, trust me, okay? Who was it that put this one out today? It was Albany Times Union that
Well,
did
I
this
think it
one?
was the Times
Times Union, so credit to them for putting this together. My God, the amount of names. And so, we didn't even get into the names du jour from the Silvers or the Skeloses or
But
the
honestly,
rest here.
Richard, are you really shocked?
I guess I'm not, but when you just hear them all and you just see so many of them, it is jarring.
Can I channel my inner Brodsky, and I hope I never say that
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Next Monday, can we do a quiz of good and decent lawmakers that are in Albany?
Good luck with
Monday,
that.
maybe.
We'll see the same names repeated over and over again. But you know,
That's funny, Andrew.
All right. Now, before we go to break, just a sad passing here, especially for folks in Westchester County, Al Del Bello. He passed away this past Friday. Now, you may remember the name because he had a lot of service to public service. He rose from Yonkers City Council to become mayor of Yonkers. After that, he was elected 3 terms as a county executive, in breaking a Republican hold on it for a long time. He was the first Democrat in a while here to become county exec. He then became New York's lieutenant governor in 1982, and he left after 3 years. And it was funny, he left at the time, he goes, "This is boring. I don't do anything as lieutenant governor." And then he went to work and became extremely successful in the private sector. No funeral arrangements have been set yet. Al Del Bello was 80 years of age here, and we pass our condolences on to his family. He's a good friend to the show as well. We'll be right back, everyone. Stay with us.